Hello everyone, hope you all are fine. Welcome to Agram IS Academy. Let's begin our topic international relations. First one is New Development Bank, that is NDB. Just go with this picture thoroughly. Okay. NDB has decided to lend 6,000 crores to Andhra Pradesh government for various projects. The NDB, formerly referred to as the BRICS Development Bank, is a multilateral development bank established by the BRICS countries. The bank will support public or private projects through loans, guarantees, equity, participation, and other financial instruments. The state governments in India can seek loan assistance from NDB. The authorized capital for NDB is $100 billion, while initial subscribed capital is $50 billion. Initial subscribed capital was equally distributed among the founding members, $10 billion each. Voting power of each member is equal to the number of its subscribed shares in capital stock. Okay. Next one is Baltic states. Just go with this map thoroughly. Okay. Baltic states is a geopolitical term used to group the three sovereign states in northern Europe on the eastern coast of Baltic Sea: Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. The three countries do not form an official union but engage in intergovernmental and parliamentary cooperation. The most important areas of cooperation between the three countries are foreign and security policy, defense, energy, and transportation. All three countries are members of the European nation, NATO, the Eurozone, and the OECD. All three are classified as high-income economies by the World Bank and maintain a very high Human Development Index. Next one is Eastern Economic Forum, that is EEF. Okay, just go with this picture thoroughly. Why it's in news? The 5th Eastern Economic Forum Summit was held in Vladivostok, Russia. EEF was established in 2015 with the aim of supporting the economic development of Russia's Far East and to expand international cooperation in the Asia-Pacific region. PM Narendra Modi announced that India would extend a $1 billion line of credit towards the development of the Russian Far East. Engaging closely with East Asia is in line with India's Act East policy. Next one is International Telecommunication Union, that is ITU. Why it's in news? India has been elected as a member of the ITU Council for another 4-year term, 2019 to 2022. ITU is a UN specialized agency for information and communication technologies, ICTS. If you have any type of query, doubts, you can contact us. Our number is 888-345-6893. Also, you can join our Telegram channel, that is Agram IAS. We are in Instagram too. Our user name is AGARAM IAS Academy. So, join us there. Okay. Founded in 1865 to facilitate international connectivity in communication networks, they allocate global radio spectrum and satellite orbits. ITU embodies principles of public-private partnership with its current membership of 193 countries and over 800 private sector entities and academic institutions. ITU is the premier global forum through which parties work towards consensus on a wide range of issues affecting the future direction of the ICT industry. Next one is International Energy Agency, IEA. India became an associate member of International Energy Agency in 2017. IEA is a Paris-based autonomous intergovernmental organization established in the framework of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD) in 1974 in the wake of the 1973 oil crisis. World Energy Outlook and World Energy Statistics are the major reports published by the IEA. Next one is Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. Okay. FAO is a specialized agency of the United Nations that leads international efforts to defeat hunger, serving both developed and developing countries. FAO acts as a neutral forum where all nations meet as equals to negotiate arguments and debate policy. It helps developing countries in transition modernize and improve agriculture, forestry, and fisheries practices. State of the World's Forests report is published by FAO. Next one is One Country, Two Systems. Okay. Just go with this graph thoroughly. Okay. Wires in news, fighting erupted in Hong Kong's legislature over proposed changes to the law allowing suspects to be sent to mainland China for trial. The principle of one country, two systems was first proposed by Deng Xiaoping in the early 1980s as way to reconcile the communist mainland with historically Chinese territories Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau that had capitalized economies. He suggested that there would be only one China, but distinct Chinese regions such as Hong Kong and Macau could retain their own economic and administrative systems, while the rest of the People's Republic of China, or simply China, uses the socialism with Chinese characteristics system. Okay. Next one is PM honored with UAE highest civilian award. Okay. PM Narendra Modi was honored with the prestigious Order of Jayed, UAE's highest civilian award. The award is in the name of Sheikh Jayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the founding father of UAE. Okay. Next one is Special 301 report. The Special 301 report is prepared annually by the Office of the United States Trade Representative USTR that identifies trade barriers to United States companies and products due to the intellectual property laws such as copyright, patents and trademarks in other countries. The annual Special 301 report includes a list of priority foreign countries that are judged to have inadequate intellectual property laws. These countries may be subject to sanctions. In addition, the report contains a priority watch list and a watch list containing countries whose intellectual property regimes are deemed of concern. Okay. Next one is International Labour Organization, that is ILO. Okay. Wires in news, ILO is celebrating its 100th anniversary in 2019. ILO is the only tripartite UN agency since 1919 that brings together governments, employers, and workers of 187 member states to set labor standards, develop policies, and devise programs promoting decent work for all women and men. India, being a founding member, has played an active role in every field of the organization. India has ratified 47 out of 189 ILO conventions till date. Next one is India Africa Institute of Agriculture and Rural Development, that is IAI ARD. Just go with this map thoroughly. Okay. Wires in news, India has signed an agreement for setting up the India Africa Institute of Agriculture and Rural Development IAI ARD in Malawi. Malawi is a landlocked country in southeastern Africa. IAI-ARD will be a Pan-African institute wherein trainees from Malawi and other African countries will be trained. This will be the first of its kind institute developed in an African country by India. This will further strengthen the bilateral relations between India and Malawi and that of India's relations with the African Union. Next one is Rai Tidim Road Project. Rehi Tidim Road Project is a road project between India and Myanmar to enhance road connectivity, especially through the state of Mizoram. The two countries announced the construction and revamping of the Rehi Tidim Road. The project involves development of an estimate 80-kilometer road connecting Tidim in Chin State, Myanmar to Rikdwar Rehi, which is on the Myanmar-India border. The road would facilitate border trade and commerce between Myanmar and India. Next one is Bhashan Char Island. Okay. Why it's in news? Approximately 6,000 to 7,000 Rohingya refugees have agreed to be relocated to the newly built camp on the Bhashan Char Island. The Bhashan Char is an uninhabited island in the southeast Bangladesh. Bhashan Char Island was formed about 2 decades ago on the mouth of river Meghna. While the government planned to relocate Rohingyas, environmentalists say that the Bhashan Char falls in an ecologically fragile area prone to floods, erosion and cyclone. Next one is Fordo nuclear plant. Just go with this map thoroughly. Okay. Why it's in news? Iran resumed uranium enrichment at its underground Fordo nuclear facility. Next one is group of 7 G7 countries. Okay. Here the map. Just go with it. Okay. Why it's in news? India was invited as a non-member country for the 2019 G7 summit held in France. The G7 is an international intergovernmental economic organization consisting of the 7 largest IMF described advanced economies in the world. The G7, originally G8, was set up in 1975 as an informal forum bringing together the leaders of the world leading industrial nations. Okay. Members are Canada, United States, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy and Japan. Okay. Just go with this picture. All the details are here. Okay. Next one is International Maritime Organization, IMO. Okay. India was re-elected as member of International Maritime Council for 2 years, 2018 and as well as 2019. The International Maritime Organization is a United Nations specialized agency with responsibility for the safety and security of shipping and the prevention of marine pollution by ships. The IMO's primary purpose is to develop and maintain a comprehensive regulatory framework for shipping, and its remit today includes safety, environmental concerns, legal matters, technical cooperation, maritime security, and the efficiency of shipping. Next one is East Kalimantan. Just go with this map thoroughly. Okay, the capital of Indonesia, which is Jakarta at present, okay, will be relocated to the province of East Kalimantan on the lesser populated island of Borneo. Jakarta is the largest Indonesian city with a population of 1 crore people and is located on the northwest coast of the most populous island in the world, Java. This is quite important. Okay. Reasons for relocation. Jakarta was built on a marsh already a few meters below sea level, thereby prone to be submerged. Due to climate change, the water levels in the Java Sea are rising and weather events are becoming more extreme. Jakarta is among the world's fastest sinking city. Okay. Okay, just go with this map thoroughly. Okay. Okay. Next one is Interpol. Here it like Interpol notices red notice, yellow notice, blue notice, black notice, green notice, orange notice, purple notice. Okay. Why it's in news? India has proposed to Interpol that the General Assembly of the organization be held in New Delhi in 2022 as part of the nation's 75th Independence Day celebrations. The International Criminal Police Organization, or Interpol, is a 194-member intergovernmental organization headquartered in Lyon, France. It's in Lyon, France. Okay. Established in 1923 as the International Criminal Police Commission and later came to be known as Interpol. Okay. India joined the organization in 1949 and is one of its oldest members. Its broad mandate covers virtually every kind of crime, including crime against humanity, child pornography, drug trafficking, political corruption, copyright infringement, and white-collar crime. Next one is Eurasian Economic Union. Okay, Eurasian Economic Union. Okay, it is an international organization for regional economic integration. Composition includes Russia, Belarus, Armenia, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan. It has free movement of goods, services, and labor. It has its own bureaucratic structure. The next one is Marawa Island. Just go with this map. Here it is, a Marawa Island. The oldest known natural pearl in the world has been discovered by Abu Dhabi. Archaeologists working at a Neolithic site on Marawa Island, just off the coast of Abu Dhabi. Dubbed the Abu Dhabi Pearl, it was found in layers that have been radiocarbon dated to 5800 to 5600 BCE during the Neolithic period. Next one is United Nations Mission in South Sudan, UNMISS. Whites in news, a total of 150 Indian peacekeepers serving with the UN mission in South Sudan, UNMISS, have received medals of honor for their dedicated service and sacrifice. The UN Nations Mission in South Sudan, UNMISS, is the United Nations peacekeeping mission for the independent South Sudan, which became independent on 9 July 2011. UNMISS was established in 2011 by United Nations Security Council resolution. Okay, its mandate is to support the government of the Republic of South Sudan in developing its capacity to provide security, to establish rule of law, and to strengthen the security and justice sectors. Next one is Agreement on Reciprocal Logistics Support, ARLS. India and Russia are finalizing a defense agreement that will simplify interoperability and enable military platforms to receive support and supplies across bases in both nations. Agreement on Reciprocal Logistics Support, ARLS. It is an arrangement that will allow access to India and Russia to each other's military facilities for supplies and fuel, expanding the logistics support and operational turnaround of the Indian military. Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. Next one is Global Migration Report 2020. Just go with this graph thoroughly. Okay. Global Migration Report 2020 has been released by International Organization for Migration, that is IOM. India accounts for the highest share with 17.5 million Indians living outside the country. Okay. India is the leading recipient of remittances. India received $78.6 billion from the 17.5 million living abroad. Remittances received by India have consistently increased between the 2005 and 2020. The top migration corridors for Indians are the UAE, okay, US and Saudi Arabia. Highest number of migrants entering India come from Bangladesh. Next one is India is not a member of APEC. APEC stands for Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Okay, APEC is Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Just go with this picture thoroughly. Okay. Okay. Next is Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, TPNW. The Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, TPNW, or the Nuclear Weapon Ban Treaty, is the first legally binding international agreement to comprehensively prohibit nuclear weapons with the goal of leading towards their total elimination. It was passed on July 7, 2017. In order to come into effect, signature and ratification by at least 50 countries is required. For those nations that are party to it, the treaty prohibits the development, testing, production, stockpiling, stationing, transfer, use and threat of use of nuclear weapons, as well as assistance and encouragement for the prohibited activities. For nuclear armed states joining the treaty, it provides for a time-bound framework for negotiations leading to the verified and irreversible elimination of its nuclear weapons program. Next one is Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. Okay, just go with this map thoroughly. Okay, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, is a group of oil-producing nations that was initially found in 1960 by Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, Venezuela, and Qatar joined in 1961. Okay, Qatar joined in 1961. OPEC produces about 45% of the world's oil and contain over 80% of its proven reserves. As of January 2019, OPEC has 14 member countries. They are Algeria, Angola, Ecuador, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Libya, Nigeria, the Republic of the Congo, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Venezuela. Indonesia is a former member and Qatar is no longer the member of OPEC from 1 January 2019. Though Russia is an oil exporting country, it is not a member of OPEC. This is important. OPEC has a very big influence on global oil prices. It plays a crucial role in determining the economic health of many countries, including India. Next one is Kala Pani territory. Here it is, the Kala Pani. Okay. In the latest map, India included Kala Pani into the Pithoragarh district of Uttarakhand. Nepal government says that Kala Pani is an integral part of the country, and that is talks are still on between New Delhi and Kathmandu over this unresolved area. Kala Pani is located at an altitude of 3600 meter on the Kailash Mansarovar route. It borders Uttarakhand in India and Sudur Pashchim Pradesh in Nepal. Since the Indo-China War of 1962, Kala Pani is controlled by India's Indo-Tibetan Border Police, that is ITBP. Next is Alliance of Small Island States, AOSIS. Okay. Alliance of Small Island States, AOSIS, is a coalition of 44 small islands and low-lying coastal developing states. The main purpose of the alliance is to consolidate the voices of small island developing states, SIDS, to address global warming. AOSIS partners with United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, to effectively influence climate negotiations. Next one is Ganga Sagar and Mosuni Islands. Just go with this map thoroughly. Okay, residents of Ghora Mara Islands are being forced to migrate as the small island is slowly being submerged by the sea. Environment experts warn that the neighboring islands of Ganga Sagar and Mosuni are facing similar fate. Ganga Sagar is the largest island in the Sundarbans archipelago. Next one is New and Emerging Strategic Technologies, NEST. Okay, there's an initiative like Emerging Technologies Division, Make in India, and 5G. Okay. Why it's in news? The Indian Foreign Ministry has announced the setting up of a new division on New and Emerging Strategic Technologies, NEST, as India is grappling with issues like the security implications of the introduction of 5G and artificial intelligence. The division will act as a nodal point in India's foreign ministry for all matters connected to new and emerging technologies, including exchange of views with foreign governments and coordination with domestic ministries and departments. It will also help assess foreign policy and international legal implications of emerging technology and technology-based resources. The desk will also be involved in negotiations to safeguard Indian interests at multilateral fora like the United Nations or the G20, where rules governing the use and access to such technologies could be decided. The next one is Sabang Port. Just go with this map thoroughly. Here are the points of Sabang Port. Okay, India and Indonesia have agreed to develop a naval port in Sabang, a strategic location at the entrance of Malacca Strait. Next one is Antarctic Treaty. The Antarctic Treaty and related agreements, collectively known as the Antarctic Treaty System, that is ATS, regulate international relations with respect to Antarctica, Earth's only continent without a native human population. Okay, next one is, yes, for the purposes of the treaty system, Antarctica is defined as all of the land and ice shelves south of 60 degrees south latitude. The treaty entered into force in 1961. The treaty sets aside Antarctica as a scientific preserve, establishes freedom of scientific investigation, and bans military activity on the continent. The treaty was the first arms control agreement established during the Cold War. Since September 2004, the Antarctic Treaty Secretariat headquarters has been located in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Power of Siberia, the gas pipeline. Okay, just go with this map thoroughly. Okay. Widespread news. Chinese President Xi Jinping and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin inaugurated the Power of Siberia gas pipeline. It is a massive cross border undertaking not only central to China's energy security but also for bolstering special ties between Beijing and Moscow. Russia has been a primary gas supplier to Europe, but the Power of Siberia is the first cross border gas pipeline between Russia and China. From Siberia to China's Yangtze River delta in Shanghai, the massive pipeline will cover 8,000 km with 5,111 km inside China, passing through 9 provinces and municipalities. Okay. Next one is Bougainville Island. Here the map is here. Just go with this map thoroughly. Okay. Bougainville held a referendum in December 2019 to decide if it wants to remain a part of Papua New Guinea or become an independent country. It is an island in the Pacific. Bougainville Island is the largest of the Solomon Island archipelago. Next one is Rai Sena Dialogue. Okay. Widespread News 5th edition of the Rai Sena Dialogue was held in New Delhi. Okay. The Rai Sena Dialogue was started in 2016. The Rai Sena Dialogue is a multilateral conference committed to addressing the most challenging issues facing the global community. Okay. Every year, global leaders in policy, business, media, and civil society are hosted in New Delhi to discuss cooperation on a wide range of pertinent international policy matters. The dialogue is structured as a multi-stakeholder, cross-sectoral discussion involving heads of state, cabinet ministers, and local government officials, as well as major private sector executives, members of the media, and academics. Okay. The conference is hosted by the Observer Research Foundation in collaboration with the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. Next one is Chabahar Port. Okay, just go with this map thoroughly. Here it is, the Chabahar Port is here. Okay. Widespread news. Diplomats from India, Iran and Afghanistan took stock of the activities at the Chabahar port in southeastern Iran 1 year after its inauguration. Chabahar port is a seaport in Chabahar located in southeastern Iran on the Gulf of Oman. The Chabahar port commenced operation almost a year ago in December 2018. Since then, we have had as many 4,500 containers moving from India through Chabahar. Almost 500,000 tons of cargo has transited since the port was inaugurated. Next one is Indian nationals living abroad. Widespread news. There are over 1.36 crore individuals, nationals living abroad. According to data tabled by the Ministry of External Affairs in Lok Sabha, citing RBI data, the ministry said that during 2018-19, $76.4 billion was received as remittances from Indians abroad. During 2019 to 2020, April to September, $41.9 billion was received. The highest number of Indians abroad are living in the United Arab Emirates, where the 34,20,000 Indians comprise about 1/4 of all Indians abroad. The UAE is followed by Saudi Arabia, 25,94,947, the US, 12,80,000, the Kuwait, 10,29,861, Oman, 7,79,351, Qatar, 7,56,062, Nepal, 5 lakh, UK 3,51,000, Singapore 3,50,000 and Bahrain 3,23,292. Here the data is followed by Auschwitz. Just go with this map. Here the Auschwitz is here. On January 27, 2020, survivors of the Holocaust and international heads of state mark the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. Auschwitz has become the center of Holocaust history and research and serves as a reminder of the horrors of the Holocaust. The Auschwitz concentration camp was a complex of over 40 concentration and extermination camps operated by Nazi Germany in occupied Poland during World War II and the Holocaust. Next one is International Court of Justice, that is ICJ. The International Court of Justice, ICJ, is the principal judicial body of the UN. It was established in 1946. It has two primary functions: to settle legal disputes submitted by states in accordance with established international laws, and to act as an advisory board on issues submitted to it by authorized international organizations. The International Court of Justice is composed of 15 judges elected to 9 years terms of office by the United Nations General Assembly and the Security Council. These organs vote simultaneously but separately. In order to be elected, a candidate must receive an absolute majority of the votes in the both bodies. In order to ensure a measure of continuity, 1/3 of the court is elected every 3 years. Judges are eligible for re-election. Next is Naaf River. Here it is, the Naaf River. Naaf River is an international river marking the border of southeastern Bangladesh and western Myanmar. Thousands of Rohingya Muslims had sought refuge across the Naaf River in the Chittagong division of Bangladesh. Next is BRICS. As we all know, BRICS stand for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. BRICS is the acronym coined for an association of 5 major emerging national economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The BRICS members are known for their significant influence on regional affairs. All are members of G20. Since 2009, the BRICS nations have met annually at formal summits. The main achievement of BRICS is the new development bank, with each country contributing equally to its equity. Next is Operation Vanilla. Indian Navy launches this operation to help cyclone hit at Madagascar. Recently, India sent an ambitious warship, INS Airawat, to Madagascar in the Indian Ocean region, IOR. They sent their warship to INS Airawat, to help in rescue efforts after the island nation was hit by a cyclone. As part of Operation Vanilla, the Navy delivered clothing, food, and medicines, and also provided diving and communication assistance for evacuation. Operation Samudra Maitri is a relief effort launched by India to assist the victims of the 2018 Sulawesi earthquake and tsunami in Indonesia. Operation Maitri, Operation Amity was a rescue and relief operation in Nepal by the Government of India and Indian Armed Forces in the aftermath of the April 2015 Nepal earthquake. Next is Madagascar. Here it is, the Madagascar. Okay. Madagascar is the world's second largest island country located in Indian Ocean. Tropic of Capricorn passes through Madagascar. Mozambique Channel is an arm of the Indian Ocean located between Madagascar and Mozambique. Next one is Mercosur. Okay. Okay. Mercosur is an economic and political bloc with member countries, namely Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Okay. Mercosur was created in 1991 when Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay signed the Treaty of Ascension for the free movement of goods, services, and factors of production between countries. The objective is to promote a common space that generates business and investment opportunities through the competitive integration of national economies into the international market. Venezuela joined Mercosur's four founding countries as a full member in 2012 but was suspended in late 2016. Next is Turkey. Just go with this map thoroughly. Turkey is here. Okay. Turkey is an transcontinental country located mainly on the Anatolian Peninsula in Western Asia, with a smaller portion on the Balkan Peninsula in southeastern Europe. Turkey is bordered by Greece and Bulgaria to its northwest, the Black Sea to its north, Georgia to its northeast, Armenia, the Azerbaijani exclave of Nakhchivan, and Iran to its east, Iraq and Syria to its southeast, the Mediterranean Sea to its south, and the Aegean Sea to its west. This is quite important, the bordering areas of Turkey. Okay. Next one is Exclusive Economic Zone, that is EEZ. Just go with this picture. Okay. An exclusive economic zone, EEZ, is a sea zone prescribed by the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, over which a state has special rights regarding the exploration and use of marine resources, including energy production from water and wind. It stretches from the baseline out to 200 nautical miles (nmi) from its coast. In the exclusive economic zone, the coastal state shall have the exclusive right to construct and to authorize and regulate the construction, operation and use of 2. Artificial islands, installations and structures for the purposes provided in the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea and other economic purposes. The coastal state shall have exclusive jurisdiction over such artificial islands, installations and structures, including jurisdiction with regard to customs, fiscal, health, safety and immigration laws and regulations. Okay, next one is Mangdechu Hydroelectric Power Plant. Here, the picture of Mangdechu Hydroelectric Power Plant. Mangdechu Hydroelectric Project is a 720 megawatt run-of-river power plant on the Mangdechu River in central Bhutan. It is being developed by Mangdechu Hydroelectric Project Authority, that is MHPA, constituted jointly by governments of India and Bhutan. Initiated in 2010, it is one of the major projects under Bhutan's initiative to generate 10,000 megawatt hydropower by 2020 with Indian support. So that's all for today's session. Hope you like the session. Share our videos with your friends. Subscribe to our channel. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.